Yeah, a bit.
I can tell you that Ron has done a lot more than just a bit of helping. In a world where Harry Potter is the lead guy and Hermione Granger is the lead girl, Ron Weasley is one of the most standout and relatable characters that we've seen out of everyone in the Harry Potter books. I'm sure many of you will agree with me that he is so well written by J.K. Rowling, and his personality really enables him to enhance or transform certain situations. So today we're going to look at Ron's character. I'm going to highlight the many examples that show us just how awesome a character he is. I'm genuinely excited to explore the underdog story of Ron Weasley, so let's get right into it and let's talk about why he's one of J.K. Rowling's greatest creations. Ron Weasley is the guy we always love to cheer for, not the main guy. Well, we still cheered for Harry obviously, but the underdog. Well, Harry was also kind of the underdog. Is there anything that Harry doesn't bloody steal?
Bloody hell, Harry.
And that's my first point. Ron is the best friend of the famous Harry Potter, the boy who lived, whose story is known all over the world. Ron was destined for a seat in the background the moment he became Harry's friend, which is why his contributions, when they came, were actually crucial to Harry's success. He genuinely had good intentions. Ron valued Harry's friendship for the right reasons, for the person he was, not for his fame. So many people wanted to be Harry's friend because of who he was. People who wanted to be seen in Harry's company, grab an autograph or a photo, and then take their leave. Ron was far above such behaviour. He stuck by Harry when it wasn't cool to be associated with him, like when the school thought Harry was the heir of Slytherin, or when Cornelius Fudge's smear campaign against Harry and Dumbledore was at an all-time high.
He's mad as what's going on. Do you believe the rubbish he's come out with about you-know-who?
Yeah, I do.
That's when Ron chose to be a friend. Even when he and Harry fell out during the Goblet of Fire, Ron was still trying to help him with the first task. His pride just wouldn't allow him to make up.
Well, you can tell Ronald.
I'm not an owl!
Many people believe Ron is incredibly shallow for being jealous of Harry being a Hogwarts champion in the Triwizard Tournament. He's already the boy who lived, he's already famous, and now he takes this too, and takes it illegally as he was underage. Has anyone ever considered that Ron probably wished for the appreciation that Harry had, just once? If you go back to the first book, when we read the part about the Mirror of Erised, Ron sees himself as a person that has accomplished everything that Hogwarts has to offer, because he wants to be seen as special. It must have hurt to see everything be about Harry, when all he wanted was to have something good said about him too. With Ron's friendship came his ability to use humour to change the mood.
Lucky we didn't panic.
Harry had a temper. He tended to get riled up sometimes, and Ron's jokes made light of such serious situations. Let's face it, Hermione is hardly going to crack a joke at any given time anyway. My favourite Ron one-liner was when Hermione was surrounded by dozens of books. She's trying to choose which ones to take with her on the Horcrux hunt, and Ron says, "Oh, of course. I forgot we'll be hunting down Voldemort in a mobile library." I love how he finds the humour in such serious situations. Sometimes you just need people like that around you. While on that journey, it was quite late on in the books, and it did require the best of Ron's courage to return and aid Harry after he left them. But in all actuality, Ron has been brave since the very beginning. Bravery is putting yourself in direct danger in order to help someone or a certain situation. You know you could be hurt. You know you're frightened. However, you still put yourself forward because your own safety comes second to helping the situation or the person, and Ron has done this countless times. Ron sacrificed himself as a knight in Wizard's chess, knowing full well he could have been seriously hurt or even killed. This boy, who's no older than 11, took it upon himself to make that decision in order to help his friends. Or what about the following year, where despite having severe arachnophobia, he walked straight into Aragog's lair with Harry. He didn't want to. He was utterly terrified, but he went anyway because Harry needed him to. He got nowhere near enough credit for being that composed when the situation called for it. He paid attention to everything. He remembered the Parseltongue word for open in order to get into the Chamber of Secrets. And the reason he wanted to get in was because he remembered how effective the Basilisk Fang was when it destroyed the Diary Horcrux, and he wanted to use it for the purpose of destroying the Hufflepuff Cup, something that even impressed Hermione due to its sound logic. What I love so much about Ron is that he's such a relatable character. I said at the beginning of the video that he was the underdog, and he really did battle quite a lot of insecurities. All of Ron's siblings were incredibly talented. Charlie was working with dragons, Bill was in Egypt and was actually a crypt keeper, Percy was so academically gifted and actually went on to work closely with the Minister of Magic himself. The twins were performing complicated magic from the age of 5 and then opened their own very successful business. And Ginny, well, Ginny was beautiful, popular, talented and so good on a broom that she could rival even the best of flyers.
What did I do?
Ginny, she's been talking about your summer.
So Ron had felt so overlooked for so long in almost all aspects of his life. Even everything he had was a hand-me-down.
No need to ask you yours. Red hair and a hand-me-down robe. You must be a Weasley.
His robes, books, even his wand. It must have been difficult using a wand that had not chose him. That really does bother me about the wand, and it still bothers me to this day. Now, I'm well aware that this didn't happen, but for me personally, I like to think that Ron just picked up Charlie's wand one day and it shows him. Anyway, he felt like a disappointment to his family. He was in Harry's shadow, and despite Hermione's quite obvious expressions of her interest in him, he still lacked the confidence to believe he was enough for her, even when it was obvious, even when it was right before his eyes.
Next time there's a ball, pluck up the courage and ask me before somebody else does. And not as a last resort.
This all comes to a head when the Locket Horcrux exposes all of his insecurities. Not only does he face them, but he cuts through them and the Horcrux. For me, it's such a symbolic moment for Ron, and I think it's portrayed so well on the big screen as it is in the book. In my opinion, Ron Weasley was one of the most underestimated and underappreciated characters in the entire series. He used anger to hide his insecurities, and doubted even the most clear as day factual situations. He was average, incredibly humble, and has just as many flaws as the rest of us. But those flaws really highlighted his personality and made him feel real, made him appear real. The fact that he wasn't famous or outrageously intelligent is what makes him special. He's just a normal person that all of us can relate to and all of us can love. Ron is so invaluable to the reader because he does something that you don't see a lot of characters do. He learns from his mistakes. It's what makes him normal, and it's also what makes him better. The moment he realised he made a massive error in abandoning Harry and Hermione, he turned back and tried to find them. Even though he was so far away at this time, he had no idea where to go or where to turn. Ron's story is a journey through personal conflict in order to get to the final test of embracing his own role as a loyal friend who was absolutely necessary to the team. He is obviously important and embraces his own unique qualities. For me, I think we've all felt what Ron has gone through at certain times in our lives, and it made me appreciate that no matter what obstacles we may face, if we all have a little bit of Ron Weasley's perseverance in our hearts, then no challenge is too big. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your support. Everyone, notifications of uploads are more important than ever. So please, if you haven't already, turn those notifications on to make sure you're notified the moment my video goes live. Making videos is what I love to do. It's my dream and my passion. However, it does cost time and money to produce this content. So if you have $1 to spare to support me on Patreon in exchange for some exclusive unseen content, then you can click the Patreon link below or at the end of this video. please only support me if you can afford it. And make sure to follow me on Instagram at InstaDNJ and on Twitter at PotterFolklore. Check out my other videos appearing on screen, and please make sure, most importantly, to hit that subscribe button. Thanks again everyone, and please have a great day.